Okay, well, I'm not gonna play this game anymore then, okay? You suck. Oh, sorry. I was playing with the EasySMX X20 Xbox style gaming controller that they sent me for a review. From Android gaming to Nintendo Switch to PC gaming, this controller can do it all. I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know about the EasySMX X20 gaming controller. So, EasySMX sent me this gaming controller, and it's absolutely the worst gaming controller I've ever had. I really hate this thing. I despise it so much that I have used it so much for the last 2 months, and I just don't like anything to do with this gaming controller, and I just don't recommend it whatsoever. So that is basically it in a nutshell, and thanks for coming by. This is my review, and yeah, I hate it. I hate everything about it. All jokes aside, this gaming controller is actually a really good gaming controller. I wanted to do this review a little bit differently because this controller I got for review about a month and a half ago, and I wasn't gonna review it like right off the bat this time, rather than just saying, hey, I've had this thing for 2 days, I'm gonna review this thing and give my opinions on it. I think you should actually play with the thing before you actually review it, so that is what I did. I played with this for about a month and a half-ish. Ever since I got it, basically, I set it up and updated it and did a whole bunch of other stuff. I tested it with some Android, I tested it with PC, I tested it with Nintendo Switch, and I tested it with multiple different games on all of these platforms, and they worked really well. As you can see, there is some dirt accumulating on the white shell and everything, and it is, you know, got some use to it now at this point where even these joysticks, they're a little bit, I don't know, discoloring a little bit as well. Again, this was sent to me by EasySMX. I don't hate this whatsoever. I never say I hate products. I never say that I hate companies. I just give my honest opinion about these products after using them, and sometimes I only use them for a week, and sometimes I use them for a month and finally get to actually reviewing them. Sorry, EasySMX, for not reviewing this sooner, but I wanted to do this differently. Like I said, it's something that I wanted to do with this one because I have a lot of controllers that have been sent to me, and controllers are, you know, something that I want to make sure that you guys actually enjoy when you buy them, and this one specifically actually is actually enjoyable to play. So the big thing about this is that you can change the trigger buttons. They are analog to digital style trigger buttons, and the reason for that is for Nintendo Switch gameplay and stuff like that, because the Nintendo Switch is digital, and yeah, these turn it into like a clicky style kind of configuration where it clicks, and then you can change it back to the Hall effect analog, whatever you want to call it, back triggers. These are Hall effect joysticks. Now, the very big pet peeve I had with these joysticks, which is not something that is hard to fix or hard to modify, is how loud they are. So I buy these for all of my controllers that do have loud joysticks, and what I mean by that is that when I'm playing a game and I'm clicking it back and forth, you can hear it smashing along the plastic. So what I do is I buy these little rubber band kits. I'll put a link in the description below for Amazon. You can buy them on Amazon or AliExpress, depending on what you like to use. I put these on a lot of my joysticks. I even put them on my Ally Mate and stuff like that as well, or my Asus Rogue Ally and my other joysticks, and it helps a lot when you are clicking the actual joystick back and forth, which is something that you will find yourself doing when you're playing a lot of first-person shooter games. Sometimes you might have to put 2 of those elastic bands on each joystick, but honestly, after you put those on there, you don't hear any of that smashing back and forth. So yeah, it's something that, as you can see, I have them on this one as well. The other thing is, yeah, these joysticks are magnetizable. They do pop on and off, and you do have your different configurations. You have your screenshot button for actually changing like your turbo and all that kind of stuff. This is actually a turbo button, but it looks like a screenshot button like on the Nintendo Switch, you have your home button. You can configure this to different modes. So if you wanted to configure this to the X input mode, which is what it's sitting at right now, the first two lights will sit like that. And then if you wanted to change it to the D input mode, you would hold the start and back button, and then it would flash, and then it would change to D input mode. Now, my computer right now is not set up for this, but what this does is it allows it for a different Bluetooth mode, basically, when you switch the toggle on the back to the Bluetooth mode specifically. And that's the other thing that's kind of cool. So it has a toggle switch on the back. One is for Bluetooth in the middle, the other one is for Nintendo Switch, and the other one is for the 2.4 gigahertz USB dongle, which does come in the box. And I've tried that as well, and it works just well enough for me to say, hey, I'm just going to use my Bluetooth anyways on my PC. My PC handles Bluetooth fine, but if you don't have Bluetooth on your PC, you could use that little dongle, which like I said, they do include it. And you do notice that there are 4 different macro buttons on the back. So that's pretty cool that you can actually set 4 different buttons. So 2 on this side and 2 on this side. And it's basically a matter of just reading the manual and how to set the macro buttons. I had it set up for my my Android device for different buttons just to mess around with it and stuff. And yeah, I tested out some Android Call of Duty gaming. I tested out some emulation. I even tested out my Nintendo Switch just to get my Nintendo Switch out of the way. And yeah, it's really, really simple to actually set this thing up and change like configurations for the lighting effect, the vibration effect. It does vibrate. The A, B, X, and Y buttons, they are changeable as well. However, the buttons lights always stay in the same configuration. Now, it would be nice if we could change these somehow with an underlight effect, in my opinion. Now, an underlight effect, what I mean by that is that there would be like clear buttons, and if you turn it to the Switch style, for example, the A, B, X, and Y would be in the configuration of the Switch, and then vice versa. So the A, B, X, and Y, or even 3-way if you like the PlayStation. So if you like PlayStation and you wanted X, square, circle, and triangle to be your configuration, maybe they could have some underglow to this so that it would actually do that. Now, that is just, something that I'm going to patent, and if you want to do this EasySMX, then make sure you remember me when you make millions off of my idea. Now, that is something that I kind of thought of when I first saw this controller. So I was like, oh, maybe that underglow is actually in there, but no, I think that's just a lighting effect in the actual buttons. And it does have USB-C charging, which is great. And yeah, we have little macro L1 and L2, or LB and RB buttons on the top, and it is micro switchy A, B, X, and Y buttons. Some people might not like that. I like the both. It depends on the game that I'm playing. So it does have the micro or macro, kind of buttons on those fronts. It does have the tactile feel to it, and same with the D-pad. The D-pad's got that tactile feel to it as well. It's not a dome style button by any means, but the joysticks, they feel great. They feel really nice. They feel good in the hands. The only downside to this is if you're used to like the Xbox controller, I found myself pressing these 2 buttons a lot, and that is because on the Xbox controller, which I have sitting right here, these 2 buttons are down here. So I've gotten used to that so much that I'm sitting there trying to press those buttons when I'm doing start and select. So maybe switching these 2 buttons for those 2 buttons would be maybe a benefit thing for people that like the Xbox controller and are going for the Xbox controller. Maybe well, probably not, because the buttons are already there, but maybe an update could actually fix this or change this or something. I don't know. But again, that is one big thing that I didn't like at first, but I kind of got used to it after a while, and I started using the top one. And like I said, I've used this for over a month or so now, and I really like it. The battery life has been great. I played Call of Duty for a couple hours one night, didn't even have to think about charging it. I don't remember what the actual milliamps of the battery are. Oh, it's 500 milliamp battery. It says right on the back. Perfect. I didn't even have to go look at the manual. So yeah, this is a really nice feeling controller in the hands. It's lightweight too. It's not, depends on what you have for battery in your controller, of course. Like I have a rechargeable battery pack finally in mine, and I haven't even picked this thing up since I got this, just because I actually liked how this felt, and I like the fact that it has turbo functionality. Turbo functionality is kind of fun to mess around with when you're playing games like Call of Duty. So if you go into a match and you want to you know, turbo shoot somebody with your pistol or something, you can do that. Yeah, I haven't really messed around with turbo functions a lot because I don't know how that works with anti-cheat and all that kind of stuff, but it really was something fun to check out. And I've, you know, like I said, I've never really tried it that often in the past with turbo functions or anything like that, unless it was like my mobile games and stuff. I've tried it with that, but my actual games that I've paid $150 for and stuff, I don't really want to mess around with getting banned from my games for that regard. But it does have that functionality. Again, has different functionalities for Nintendo Switch. You can use it as a Nintendo Switch controller, and it's a matter of just toggling that switch and then pressing the power button, which is the home button in the middle. And then when your switch is around, which I think mine actually, yeah, mine's somewhere. Oh yeah, it's, hold on. This was my Nintendo Switch just sitting in the background. But as you can see, I just toggled it back, and yeah, I could just go back and continue playing it. If you wonder what the heck this thing is, then stay tuned for a video about that. Honestly, would I recommend this? I would highly recommend you, if you wanted to get a new controller, definitely go get one. There's an Amazon affiliate link in the description below if you want to go purchase one of these. Obviously, affiliate links do help the channel out as well with continuing on, and so do reviews, of course. Again, sorry EasySMX for taking so long to review this thing. They emailed me a couple times. I got back to them once, and then I've been busy, and obviously I've been busy with certain things. But if you're in the market for a new controller, it has, you know, a decent sized battery in it, and it's rechargeable. That's a big thing too, instead of having to buy, you know, a battery pack for something like this. And maybe your Xbox controller is on its way, then I definitely recommend getting an EasySMX X20 after using it for the time that I have. Maybe I'll do another review in a year to see if it's, you know, held up and it's still working the way that I wanted it to. Which, another big thing, I did have to update the firmware. I went to their website, updated the firmware, because I kept having disconnection issues with my computer for some reason at the beginning, and then the update was actually as easy as just following their quick instructions and doing so. So basically, I would recommend this. I want to do reviews sort of like this for now on, where I actually get some actual gameplay using these things, because I don't want to just, you know, say, hey, this thing is good after 1 day of using it, or 2 days of using it, or a week of using it. I want it to actually get some actual live play. I played some, like, probably 40 hours worth of Call of Duty with it. Maybe that, something like that. Yeah, a lot of hours of playing Call of Duty, like probably a couple hours a night for a few nights in a row, and then whenever I can, kind of thing. And like I said, I tried it with Android, I tried it with Nintendo Switch, and it worked out really well. Played some Mario Kart with it on the Nintendo Switch, and I liked everything about it. So that is basically it in a nutshell. This is the EasySMX X20 game controller. If you're in the market, the holidays are coming around the corner. Maybe Black Friday will have a sale. Who knows? Get yourself an EasySMX X20 gaming controller in 2024 or beyond. Bye-bye!